So this is us taking Eric on his favourite walk. We're heading down to an area called Priddy's Hard, which is an old armaments depot which was then given back to house builders and then developed. It's got some fantastic, absolutely fantastic sea views, which you'll see in a second. You can see the speeded up footage here, so Eric's obviously galloping towards the water. And here we are at Priddy's Hard. In the distance you can just make out the old Royal Navy ships. This is basically the graveyard for Royal Naval ships. They come, they moor them here and then take them off to the breakers yard. There's a yacht club or a boat club here. There's even a couple of houseboats as well. One of them's for sale. Over in the distance, you can't quite see it on the footage here, yeah. And then obviously there's pontoons, and it's a large boating community. You might ask the question, why wouldn't we buy a boat and stick it here? One reason, simple really, the sea's so very deep and there are probably sharks in there, and I don't think there are any sharks on the canal. And in the distance, those spikes on the horizon, they're Portsmouth Harbour. But interestingly, you may be able to make out the HMS Queen Elizabeth, the Navy's new aircraft carrier. It is in the distance there, just at the tip of where the railing points onto the horizon. It's a large, big grey block. These lovely old buildings are part of what is now called Explosion Museum. They are obviously original buildings from, I think, dating back from Edwardian, or certainly possibly even Victorian, but I think probably more Edwardian. You can see the narrow gauge railway tracks in the ground there, where the carts used to run backwards and forwards. It had its own railway. It's a real shame to see them in such poor condition. So here we are. We're at the Cunning Man near Burfield Lock. It's on the Kennet and Avon. We chose it because it's such a beautiful pub, gets very good reviews, and it's right by the canal. Bonus. Say hello, Julie.
Yeah. Hello. Again. Beautiful pub. Beautiful.
These ducks decided they didn't want to stick around, so as we approached, they promptly plonked themselves into the canal and swam off. I thought they'd be a bit more friendly than that.
Wow. What an impressive roof garden, but where does the boat end and the garden begin?
And look, a wide beam. How unusual. Finally we see a wide beam on the waterways. We love narrowboats and we'd love to live on a narrowboat. Unfortunately, we just don't think that the space that they offer is going to be enough for us. So obviously our interest is piqued when we see a wide beam. Look out, it's a cyclist. Now there's one thing you need to know about towpaths. There are two types of cyclists. There are those that just zoom past without giving you any warning, and there are those that give a little tinkle on the bell. This gentleman was very polite and tinkled on his bell to warn us he was coming. But you do have to keep your eyes open, and you have to make sure that you look behind you occasionally, because just behind you you're going to see someone racing towards you. This is lovely. This is a beautiful Viking wide beam boat. It was fitted out by Steen Poirier on a Viking canal boat shell. It's got a reverse layout, 2 bedrooms, and has a Beta 90 engine, so it's got an upgraded engine. It's also fitted with a generator. It's a whisper generator, so it's very quiet. It has a Cabola heating system, and all the domestic appliances are included: fridge, freezer, washing machine and dishwasher. This boat, I'm sure you'll agree, is incredibly luxurious. This boat comes with 2 bedrooms. The master bedroom has fitted wardrobes and space for a king-size bed. Unusually, it doesn't come with fitted furniture. It's freestanding, so bring your own. In the separate second bedroom, there is a single bed that pulls out into a second single. Obviously, if you want a double, then you're going to have to get some modification. At the front of the boat, there is seating and storage lockers, so plenty of outside space. But I'm sure you'll agree that there's plenty of storage in the main bedroom there. The windows also, just as an interesting point, are double glazed, which means that you get very, very little condensation at all, and obviously help with keeping in the heat. The bathroom, or should I say shower room, has a large corner shower. There is a macerator pump out toilet, and obviously very swish. This particular boat is an Aquiline Canterbury. It's 11 foot wide and by 65 feet. It's an older example. The new Aquiline Canterburys are at least 175,000 brand new. This one's a 2011, so it's a little bit dated inside, but in very good condition. This one we couldn't get an outside photo or an outside video of because it was moored against another boat, so we didn't get a very clear view. But you'll see it's got plenty of second bedroom space. You know, the main bathroom, or the shower room rather, is in very good conditions, very modern, with a nice shower. It does have wardrobes, fitted wardrobes, but unfortunately they are quite narrow and there's not a great deal of space at the front. This boat was currently on sale for $114,995. The boat sales guys told me that it did have an offer on it, but at that sort of price it's very good value for money.